Okay, I guess thought I'll make a quick video since I was hooking up these panels to maybe kind of explain hooking panels in series and in parallel. Series, say, probably can see we got a negative cable here, a positive cable, and a positive and a negative on this side. So if we wanted to hook these panels in series, I would just take a positive and a negative, and hook those together. And then I would take these here. Well, actually, I would just take this cable here and then connect this to the positive and connect this to the negative. And when you hook panels in series like this, whatever the panel voltage is, you increase the voltage, but the amp stays the same. I think for these panels, it's maybe about 5 or 6 amps, and at 18, say just 18 volts. So in series, each panel would be 18 volts. So now we got 36 volts, and the amp stays the same. So let's see here. I don't know if we could be able to see this here. What we're seeing here is 39 volts. Since it's hooked, you may be able to see that better on the video. It's hard for me to see, but it says 39 volts. So if I take this and say disconnect it all, and we want to hook them in, hope I don't get too wet here, hook it in parallel, then you would need these cables. And what we would do with these cables is hooking in parallel. You take positive and positive together. Now we got those two positive cables connected, and we would take negative and negative, and we got those together. And then we would come here, and these are the negative cables. Hook that negative. These are the positive cables. Hook that positive. And when you hook it in parallel, the voltage stays the same, but the amp increases. So I think we said we had 5 or 6 amps. Now that would double and go to 10 or 12 amps, but the voltage will stay the same. And what we're getting here for is voltage. Before we got 39, here we're getting 19 volts. So you can see the voltage pretty much stays the same, and the amp's gonna go up. So it all depends on your charge controller. Most inexpensive charge controllers are PWM controllers. So you would have to hook those in parallel, your panels in parallel for those. If you got a real MPPT charge controller, it's better to hook them in series, long as that MPPT charge controller can handle the amps and the voltage produced by the panels. And like you can hook up maybe 500 watt panels in series, but you got to be aware of the voltage that is producing to make sure that your charge controller can handle that voltage, plus the power of the panels. Like 100 watt panels should produce 500 watts. So your charge controller should be able to handle 500 watts at least of power. And like I say, it depends on, once you hook them in series, depends on what voltage is producing. 5 panels could produce maybe about 90 volts. just guessing here, but you should be able to make sure your charge controller can handle those 90 volts plus can handle 500 watts of power. That's a quickie. So that's enough for today. Hopefully that helped somebody. Later.